Hello students, welcome back to Data Communication video lecturing sessions. In the present video session, I will be explaining wavelength division multiplexing and time division multiplexing. So wavelength division multiplexing can be used for analog signal and time division multiplexing can be used for digital signal. So we know that the high data rate capabilities of fiber optic cables can be used if we design wavelength division multiplexing. So in the case of optical fiber cable, the data rate, that means the fiber optic cable data rate, it will be greater than the data rate of metallic transmission cable. So therefore we have to use multiplexing concept. Even if the basic idea of multiplexing, that is WDM concept, looks very simple, but actual procedure involved within the WDM concept will be complex one. So I can say that WDM is a complex technique. Here we can combine different light signals, or the multiple light source signals can be combined into a single light signal, and that light signal can be transmitted over the link. Once again, across the demultiplexer block, we can get back our original multiple light source signals. So the diagram shows WDM technique in which we can use three different light signals with the wavelength of lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. So WDM combines different or multiple light source signals here, and that means lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3. So that can be combined and can be transmitted through the link, and across the demultiplexer block, once again we can split this combined light stream signal into individual light signals with the wavelength of lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. So WDM technology is very complex, but the basic idea is very simple one. We want to combine multiple light source signals into a single light signal across the multiplexer block, and the reverse operation can be considered across the demultiplexer block. The combining and splitting of light source signals are easily handled by a prism. So we can combine as well as we can split the light signals using which can be handled by a prism. So now we'll take what are the applications of WDM. The major application of WDM is comes under SONET network, in which we can use multiple optical fiber lines which can be multiplexed as well as demultiplexed. So we can also make use of one more concept or new method of WDM, which is called as dense WDM, which can be used in order to multiplex a very large number of channels by considering the spacing of the channels very close to one another. So we can have dense WDM by considering the spacing of the channel will be very close to each other, so that we can achieve better efficiency. Time division multiplexing or TDM. So TDM can be used if the input signal is digital signal. In short, we can call it as the time division multiplexing is a digital process. In the case of FDM, we considered the portion of the bandwidth was shared. In the case of FDM, the portion of the bandwidth was shared, but in the case of TDM, FDM, the portion of the bandwidth was shared, but in the case of TDM, time is shared. Time is shared. Each connection occupies a portion of time in the link. The diagram shows TDM concept. So here we are having 4 different signals like signal 1, signal 2, signal 3 and signal 4. All the input signals are digital signals. So the digital data from different sources, these are the sources, are combined into one time shared link. So the digital data from different sources are combined into one or individual time shared link. So here we are having 4 different users, and the entire link can be shared by considering time as a factor. So for the first data source, for this one, the time slot is given as 1, for second one 2, 3 and 4 and so on. So in the diagram we can clearly observe that the portions of the signal 1, 2, 3 and 4 occupies the link sequentially. So TDM is a digital multiplexing technique for combining several low data rate channels into high data rate channel. So here across the demultiplexer block, once again we can get back our original digital signals. So that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the direction of data flow is like this, from the sender node to the receiver node, and we can clearly observe that the different slots are assigned within the link in order to share the informations like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So those the portion of the signals 1, 2, 3, 4 can occupy the link sequentially. Once again 1, 2, 3, 4, once again 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. TDM schemes. So under TDM it can be categorized as, first one is synchronous TDM and the second method is statistical TDM. Synchronous TDM and the second method is statistical TDM. In the case of synchronous TDM, each input connection has an allotment in the output slot even if there is no data to send. In the case of synchronous TDM, so we need to allot the slots even if there is no data to send. But in the case of statistical TDM, we have to check whether there is a input data which is to be transmitted. So if there is a data, then only we can allot the slots. Time slots and frames. Data flow of each input connection is divided into number of units. This unit may be consisting of single bit of data or group of bits or else a character or block of data. So here we can observe that we are having 3 different data flow, that is I will take A, the first as A, number of connections as first one is A, B and C. So here we can observe that each single data flow is divided into 3 different units like A1, A2, A3, similarly B1, B2, B3 and C1, C2 and C3. So these input units can occupy one input time slot. So here, so this is the input time slot T. Each single input unit can occupy one input time slot. So after multiplexing, each input unit becomes the output unit. So each input unit becomes the output unit, and it will occupy one output time slot. So the duration of time slot, it will not be same. So I can say that the duration of output time slot, it will be always lesser than the duration of input time slot. So for example, input time slot, if it is t seconds, the duration of output time slot, that is equal to, in this case, t by 3. In general, we can consider it as t by n, where n is equal to number of connections. In this case, we consider 3 different connections. So now, across the output, we can observe that the frames, frame 3, frame 2 and frame 1. So how we can construct the frame? So I can combine the input units A1, B1, C1 in order to construct frame 1. Similarly, A2, B2, C2 to construct frame 2, A3, B3 and C3 in order to construct frame 3. So I can say that each frame is 3 time slots. Each frame occupies 3 time slots, and each time slot duration will be equal to t by 3 seconds. For example, A1 occupies out of 3 it occupies one portion, that is t by 3 seconds. So the data are taken from each line, it may for every ts seconds. So in the case of synchronous TDM, the data rate of the link, that is output link, is n times faster, but the bit duration, that is unit duration, is n times shorter. The data rate for each input connection is 1 kilobits per second if one bit at a time is multiplexed. So that means a unit is 1 bit. What is the duration of each input slot, each output slot and each frame? So first we know that the data rate is given. Data rate is equal to 1 kilobits per second. Data rate is equal to 1 kilobits per second. So per second we can transmit 1000 bits. So therefore duration of the input time slot. So now we have to compute duration of the input time slot, that is equal to, per second we can transmit 1000 bits. Duration of single bit is equal to 1 by 1k, that is equal to 1 millisecond. So that is first one. So next we have to compute the output time slot. output time slot is equal to 1 by n times the input time slot. N is equal to number of connections. So here in this case we are having 3 connections. So 1 by 3, 1 milliseconds by 3. So that is 1/3 milliseconds. That is equal to output time slot. So next, finally we have to compute the duration of each frame. Duration of each frame. We know that each frame consisting of 3 units like A1, B1 and C1. That means the frame carries 3 output time slots. Frame carries 3 output time slots. So that is equal to, therefore duration of a frame, duration of a single frame, that is equal to, we can say that 3 times input time slot, that is equal to 3 into 1 by 3 milliseconds, that is equal to 1 milliseconds. In general, we can say that the frame duration is equal to the duration of the input time slot, that is equal to 1 millisecond. Figure shows synchronous TDM with a data stream for each input and one data stream for output line. The input of data is 1 bit. Find the input bit duration, output bit duration, output bit rate and output frame rate. So in the diagram we can clearly observe that we are having 4 connections. So therefore n, the value of n is equal to 4, and while constructing the frame we can observe that each frame consisting of the values or patterns, like suppose if this is frame 1, so we can construct the first frame as 1, 0, 1, 0. The second frame will be 1, 0, 0, 0. Third frame 1, 0, 1, 1 and so on. So we'll try to solve this problem. First we can compute the input bit duration, that is equal to reciprocal of bit rate. That means input bit duration, that is equal to 1 by bit rate. Bit rate is given as 1 megabits per second. So that is equal to 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 seconds, or else we can write it as 1 microseconds. Input bit duration is equal to 1 microseconds. So next we can compute output bit duration. Output bit duration, that is equal to 1 by n times of input bit duration, that is equal to, so in the given problem we are having the value of n as 4, 1 by 4 times 1 microseconds. So that is equal to 1 by 4 microseconds. So next we can compute output bit rate. Output bit rate, that is equal to 1 by output bit duration, that is equal to 1 by 4 microseconds. So the value will be 4 microseconds. So we know that the frame rate will be equal to input data rate. We know that frame rate will be, that is equal to input data rate. The input data rate is given as 1 megabits per second, that is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 6 bits per second. For 1 kilobits per second, connections are multiplexed together. A unit is 1 bit. Find the duration of 1 bit before multiplexing, the transmission rate of the link, the duration of a time slot, and the duration n of a frame. So first we can compute duration of each bit, that is duration of each bit before multiplexing. So duration of each bit can be computed by considering the data rate. So that means duration of 1 bit, that is equal to, so we are having the data rate as 1 kilobits per second. Per second we can transmit 1000 bits. So what is the duration of single bit over here? So that means 1 by 1 kilobits per second. So that is equal to 1 millisecond. In order to carry a single bit, we need 1 millisecond. The second one is rate of the link, transmission rate of the link. Rate of the link, it will be n times faster than the rate of the connection. Rate of the connection. So n is equal to, we are having 4 connections into 1 kilobits per second. So that is equal to 4 kilobits per second. So next we have to compute duration of each time slot. Duration of each time slot, that is equal to 1 by n times duration of each bit, that is equal to 1 by 4 times 1 millisecond. We get the value as 250 into 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. So the last one is case D. We have to compute duration of a frame. So that will be always equal to duration of a unit before multiplexing, before performing multiplexing operation. So that is equal to 1 millisecond. That is nothing but duration of 1 bit. For any queries, please mail me at sadhana.b@canaraengineering.in. Thank you.